So welcome to this webinar dedicated to Event Video Player 380. To make so this webinar more appealing, I would suggest that you switch on your camera so we can interact each other, and mute your microphone by default. You are really welcome to enter your questions in the chat area. Cedric will help me to and raise the hand so I can answer your question. And we will have also some free time along the presentation, so we can again address your question. So EVP380 is a promise that you will synchronize audio, video, and light with perfect sync. Before we go into EVP380, just a few words about Wave System. We were founded in 2000, so we have been in the Pro AV market for nearly 25 years, innovating in the range of media players and media servers. We design our solution in France, and we manufacture in-house. We have a complete factory behind my back where we manufacture our products. You can find our products all over the world through a wide network of distributors, partners, and also customers. Our reputation is based on our reliability of products and people, with tens of thousands of customers using our products, high quality solution, and the main markets we are in are museum, theme parks, retail, shopping malls. That's the main applications. We push on the user friendliness of our solution, of our software, with ergonomic design, quick installation, no complex technical training. You don't lose time in training session. You go straight to programming and installing equipment. We manage all our media in just a few clicks. So that's very important for us, that you don't lose time when you operate with our systems. So let's dig into EVP380. EVP380 is our flagship in the range of media players. It is the main unit with the most features of the range. It has two sisters, VP330 and VP320. Okay, EVP380 has a complete bulk of features. VP330 we get rid of lights, and you have VP330, and VP320 you get rid of many GPIO, and then you have VP320. What we can do with EVP380 is very wide. At first, it's a media player, so it can run audio and video. For video, it can run up to 4K at 60 FPS. On the audio side, it can play back up to 8 audio channels that we deliver on USB audio class A, and we deliver also on HDMI. We can also stream video or media from tier servers, and we also offer a solution to resize media, especially when you connect players to LED screens. It has also HTML5 engine, so you can display web pages. You can control these web pages through a touchscreen. We support touchscreen through USB. And behind the screen, you have a very complete library, JavaScript API, to program any custom behavior of your player. It's highly interactive with GPI, GPO, TCP/IP command, HTTP request, RS-232, and USB touchscreen. On the automation side, you can sync machine together, EVP with EVP, EVP with VP330, etc., through a proprietary UDP protocol that's very easy to implement, very easy. We'll look at it. You can automate the behavior based on the scheduler as well. You can also automate the power off, power on of your screens and video projectors that are connected to the machine. Because we deliver an API, you can control the player from any web browser that is within your local network. And or you can also control and update your player through a cloud platform that we call WaveSpark. Finally, we have advanced show control features. EVP380 can be considered as an endpoint, DMX endpoint, ArtNet endpoint, but it can do much more, because as it can record and play back content with perfect sync. You can record one DMX512 universe, and can also record 64 ArtNet universe. So you can record more than 30,000 channels and deliver this light show in perfect sync with media. I will accept Michal. Okay, welcome, Michal. So if we look at the machine itself, when you work with event video player, the best way is to use the web server. So you connect to the machine through its IP address. It's very easy, comfortable to configure, and also to create scenario and media through this web page. Okay, as we mentioned, we have a connection to our cloud platform. You have TCP/IP command and REST API to control from Crestron. You can control from Control4. Recently, we did a driver, a Control4 driver to make some control. But you can also, with the REST API, you can also create some web page, like a web remote control that you store inside the player, but that you can display through a web browser, a remote web browser for control. You can use a touchscreen. Indeed, it's an autoplay 24/7. It runs after power loss and power recovery. Scheduler. We have an infrared remote control, RS-232, 8 GPI, 8 GPO, and all the show control features. As I mentioned, endpoint, but not only an endpoint, it can also play back media. Show control, your show. On WaveSpark, you can configure your players, monitor your fleet, organize your fleet, and update your media. We are open for some questions before we go to inspiring case studies. I make sure that everybody is attending. That's okay. So feel free to ask for questions before we go to some case studies. Yes,
there is Sean. I believe the device is wide temperature rated, meaning it can operate above 105 Fahrenheit.
Okay. This information are available on the datasheet for the temperature range of operation. I'm more familiar with Celsius, which is between 0 and 45 degrees Celsius room temperature. I mean external temperature. So we will. I think also Cedric can share the link of the datasheet on the chat, so you will be able to access quickly to this information. Sean, maybe you had some project with on the outdoor project.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, so when it's cold, it's never a problem because there
Yeah.
is some heat dissipation, so it's not a problem. And for a warm application, a hot application, I know that we are running in during summer for when it's light, it's mostly during evening, but we have also application where the weather is quite hot. So consider our external temperature at 45 degree, and this is one temperature that we product commit on. 60 degree outside. 60 degree outside. The spec was not there, so we couldn't make some tests. That takes a point. We'll have some inspiring case studies right now. I guess you will have the sound.
Des éclairages qui, à mon sens, respectaient vraiment l'esprit du lieu.
Des petites lumières avec.
Okay, so here you can see a complex light show that is triggered in a complete scenography. There are several players sync with UDP, and a perfect sync between the media, the light, the sound here in this case, audio, together with pixel LED show. This one is very interesting. It's been running for already 3 years in a abbey in France. So here it's a haunted house in a theme park, where they deploy around 12 machines, and each machine is in charge of a room along the path, along the way. And the company is a Belgian company for a French theme park, and they've been using this product for first haunted house, but now every year they do another one. So this one is quite interesting scenario as well. So here it's more heritage or natural rocks. Maybe not only natural. There were some guys a few thousand of years before that made the rocks so specific. And here it makes 400 meters long, and you have 6 machines. Each machine is in charge of light, sound, and sometimes video for its own segment.
Baby, can't you see I'm calling? A guy like you should wear warning. It's dangerous. I'm falling.
So here it's in a hockey stadium where the show is launched at each match, each session with one EVP380. In the middle of this installation, the animal is managed by EVP380. So there are many applications that are possible, and creativity is not is your limit when you use EVP380, I would say. Federico, Lorenzo, can I have some picture of the ice stadium? Yes, yeah, and the schemes. Okay, that's a good point too. Cedric will take a note of this. Yes, we did provide this. Okay, so now any other question about use case? No, okay. We'll try to get them and let you know. Okay. Okay, so now we will we'll have a look to the way we program the machines. Okay. So first way to interact with the machine is to use remote control. Okay, there are some quite a lot of things that you can do with remote control. If I go here to my player, so here it's the output, HDMI output that I display on my screen. Okay, if I use my remote control, I can already access a few menu. Okay, so this is quite good. But what is very interesting is to grab the IP address with the remote control. By pressing the I button, I get the IP address. Okay, that's basic. But for the rest of the demo, I will move to the admin console. Okay, so we will go to the admin console. Sorry. Okay. Here I am on my console. Admin password to enter the machine. Okay. And here again, I see a similar interface where I have a few menu, 4 menu. The first one with system information. Okay. I see that the machine is playing now. Using the internal storage. We have 4 GB inside the machine. Very nice. Very reliable storage. Okay, we have some information. On the video projectors, we see that we could connect a video projector by using a PG link and see it here. Okay, and wait.
Does it display current show? Like what it is playing at the moment?
Yeah. Yes. So what is playing now? Here we have it. Current folder. That's the one that is playing.
Oh, file. I see.
Yeah, we see it here and the file. Yes. On system settings, there are more interface for configuration. Okay. This time you can select the storage. You can force the internal storage or force a USB stick, impose your storage. You can manage slideshow, image duration in case you have video together with image. The way we manage image selectable can be selected here. And then we have many other features that we will discover later on. Network, display. As I mentioned, custom video display area is the way where we can resize the output. So in terms of EDID, we have the same. We do not force the EDID, but we can resize the output.
Can you do custom aspect ratio?
On the
Like if it's an LED display, can you do?
Alors we can do. We need to communicate with the LED controller using standard EDID. But yes, you can readjust the aspect ratio of your video here. I selected the option, and now it has resized within a standard resolution. It has resized the media.
Okay.
And you can rotate. Okay. So this is very, very useful for LED screens, and very easy to control. Okay, back to normal. We can manage subtitles as well, as like on Netflix. We manage text files, and we can display them in some with this text editor, and many other features. I will go maybe directly to some other features. So on the third menu, you have other configuration. This configuration on the third menu will follow your scenario. System settings will follow the machine. Scenario settings will follow your scenario. So if your scenario is on a USB stick, it will be written inside the USB stick, and it will follow. It will go with the USB stick, like volume at startup, for example, or autoplay folder, or some other behavior of the GPI. GPI 1, for example, can play folder 1, but can toggle pause resume, can move to next file, next folder, etc., etc., etc. A lot of features that are by default, that you can configure by default. Okay. Player start synchronization is interesting. It is a way we manage sync between machines. So by default, when we goes out of the factory, we already enable the sync between machines through this port. Finally, we have a control system interface to control the player itself. We can play, stop, etc. We can select one playlist among a list of playlists. We can stand by the screen, stand by the video projectors. We can also see the other machine on the network, which is very interesting, because then I can jump from machine to machine very easily. Finally, we go to the file manager, where we see our storage. Here I have only internal storage, and I see the way we organize our project based on folders and media. Okay. Now we will start with a very simple scenario where we want to play back a video in a loop at the power on. Very easy. In this case, we create a folder with a specific naming, 000, some specific tag. And what is after the last tag can be a free text, no limitation. Okay, so here folder 0 is played in a loop. This name is just for memory, and I drag and drop a media inside. So here I've got my folder. Right click, I can rename it. Okay, when I write in my memory, I move to maintenance mode. If I want to get out of the maintenance mode, I need to reopen the lock. And here I have a media inside. What is very, very comfortable with our player is that when you take a media, up, drag and drop, done. So it's so easy to update your scenario, update your media, with only a drag and drop. There is no need to store a project, open a project with an authoring solution, or export project. You can easily access your media. You can easily access your scenario. You can easily access your configuration, player configuration at any moment, and do it through the web page. Okay, so now it's running a playlist of 2 media. So this one plus another one. Okay. So that's the way it works. Now you get familiar with the system. We can trigger a second video when a presence is detected. So we offer a few sensors in our portfolio that you can directly connect to the player. And as the player delivers 12-volt output, it can supply or it can power active sensors. So here we connect our sensors to GPI 1 between ground and 1. And we say that GPI 1 by default play folder 1. Now we need to learn a few more tags to cover our scenario. The first one is tag J. J means that when we end folder 1, we jump to folder 0. And tag NT. NT means that once we enter the folder, we become deaf to any input. Yes, because with presence sensor, every 8 seconds you are detected as a human in front of the sensor. So if we detect, redetect, we would launch the video again. Okay, so here is our scenario. I have a video inside and it's done. So I can simulate GPI 1 with my remote control button 1. And here you see that it takes the order because with NT tag, we stop GPI, but we do not stop remote control. But that's an option. That's something you can do. In the scenario, we see that NT will block input contact serial link, but will not block infrared remote. That's something we have selected here. Okay. With this organization, you will cover 80% of your scenario. We have a list of 12 or 13 tags. As I mentioned, you will cover 80% of your scenario. There is one that I want to detail is the tag synchro. The tag synchro is a tag to synchronize machines altogether. Okay. So with this tag, you can define a master, you can define slave, you can define an ID where master gives the order to the slave. It's very easy to implement the synchro mechanism between machines. So with this solution, we can easily program many scenarios. We have a direct access to the content. There's no need of specific programming or no software. It's not no code, it's very low code, I would say. And it will cover most common basic scenario. But I agree that some scenarios require more than these tags. So how we can go further? I will take some questions, but I have the answer. The answer is to use HTML and JavaScript engine when we need more complex scenario. But we can spend a few minutes on this part of the webinar. So mic are opens if you need.
Question, you trigger video, but where would you trigger lighting inside the same folder?
Okay, that's a good question. I will share a folder where I name it show control. And here we see that we have not only a media, but also a show. As long as they have the same name, they will be played simultaneously. So, and inside the folder, then I can have more couples. I could have more couples. Each couple will be read in either in a random or sequence. You have a
Do they have to be the same length?
So here, to answer the question, so right, if I play this one, folder 4, we will run media together with show file. EVP380 can read SC3 show files.
What if video is longer than the lighting show?
Yeah, so
lighting show
we
loop?
wait. We will wait until the last. So let's consider that video lasts longer. Then we will keep the last DMX channel at the same level.
Okay.
And end the video. So usually, if you need to jump from folder to folder, you need to adapt the end of your show file and the beginning of the next show file, because if you interrupt one show for another show, it will be a straight change on your DMX channel.
Can you have multiple video and lighting show in the same folder?
Yes.
Okay.
You can have multiple video and show in the same folder. Consider that the player will play only at maximum one media and one show at a time at one time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if it goes to another media, another show, it will interrupt what is being played and run for another for something different. Yes.
So you can make a playlist of video and lighting show in one folder.
Yes, you can. In this case, you will need to detail if you want to play as a sequence or randomly. By default, it's random.
Okay.
By default behavior is random. Okay, nice. So we can go further with HTML and JavaScript engine. For example, we can display content, display web content. This content can be stored in the player, or it can be in a tier server. So we can display websites, we can display web applications. So that's useful to if you want to create some user interface on top of your video. You can play video, and on top of it you can manage a HTML layer. But you can also use this web engine to develop complex scenario. For example, display one image, green flag if the pollution at this GPS coordinate is below this this figure. That's something you can do using the web. And so you can push contextual media based on whatever you want. You can also control the player, next playlist, play, stop, more volume, less volume, etc. You can also support a multi-point touchscreen. And you can also use the input contact, the dry contact, push button, and reroute this, take this information for your web code, for your JavaScript code. We have some limitation on the resolution of the HTML5. The limitation is HD. It's not 1720. We'll update it. It's HD resolution on the web. And we can have some limitation on the graphics load, because we have a small ARM CPU processor. So in order to better understand the way it works, we should consider the visual composition is based on a HTML5 layer on top of a multimedia layer. That's the way it is composed when you look at your display. On the data flow, it works with a video engine that can be controlled by API JavaScript backend, and this API backend can also display some front-end HTML content. That's the way it works. So we have the workflow follows 3 steps. First, you can create a web page that has HTML5 JavaScript code. Okay, you use our API to activate, to use our library to activate service on the player. Then you need to index the web page. There is 2 ways to index a web page. You can edit manually a config file, or you can use the interface I will show you. And finally, you tag. You call the page within your folder with a new tag. We call it WebS. So that enables you to create interactive application where GPI directly interconnect with web page. Or you can create some remote control that is stored inside the player, but displayed from any web browser on your installation. So I can show you a few more. Okay. A demo. So here I can create some websites. So in my demo, I will use an external website. I will not use an internal website. I will use our website. Okay, come on. Okay. I know that maybe I didn't write it well. Okay, now it's written with the correct. Okay, so here I create a web page. In this case, it's not a complex one. It's already available on the web. I give an ID, and now I want to. When I start folder 0, I want to start page 1. Okay, WebS1, website 1. Okay. Now I'm back to my player, and I display my web page. So it's working. So I create a web page, I index it, and I call it with a tag. It's done. Okay. Okay. Now nobody is waiting in the waiting area. That's good. And I'm open for questions on the HTML5. At the same time, I will open maybe more documentation here just to show you that we have resources on EVP. Show control players. Okay, EVP380. REST API. Okay, and that's the API documentation here. Nice. I'm checking the chat. It's okay. So I think we can move to the show control now. Let's go. Okay, so with show control capability, you will be able to synchronize audio, video together with your DMX fixtures. We have two ways to create a show with EVP380. First way is to use our show control editor software. It's a very basic software that you can download for free on our website that target basic DMX projects with some dimmer, RGB, relay, few commands. It's a very simple tool, but very helpful for basic scenario. The second one is to record directly from a third party DMX tool. In this case, you will be able to support any kind of show up to 64 ArtNet universe and 1 DMX universe. You can also not only record, but you can also during the show, during the recording, you can also monitor the player. Okay, I will show you. Okay, so first way, Show Control Editor is a small software on my PC. You can have a live preview using ArtNet, and the player will broadcast your cue. In this case, you need to create a project using our software. You can use a preview, real-time preview with ArtNet, and then you render the project by exporting into SC3 file that you copy in your folder. I have my show control editor running here. So I'm sorry because the black should be white. The black color should be white. But anyway, so I will create a new project. I can upload a media. I will upload here a small video. Sorry for the display. Okay, I have a view of my video here, and I have a view of my audio tracks here. Okay, so now I can create no, let's say RGB. Okay. Color is very bad. Okay. Now along my my timeline, I will add some events, and here I can apply colors. Like, okay. Okay. So here I can easily program here a 3-channel RGB channel using my tool. At the same time, I can select this. I can add an event here and close some output. Okay, and I can run along my timeline. And as we said, here I don't have it, but you can set ArtNet connection with your player, and your player will play back the show. When it's done, you need to save the project. The project is a PS2 project. This project, PS2 project, can be edited for in the future. And then you need to export, build a show control file, SC3. And in this case, it will create a SC3 file. Okay. Now I'm ready to push. Oh, I need to find it. Now I'm able to push in a folder my media together with my SC3. Don't forget, the media was used to build the show, but the media is not embedded inside, encapsulated inside the show. No, it's not. You need to put it close to the show file. So that's the way it works for the first workflow. Ouais. Max of lighting universe recorded for playback. Okay, this is the second workflow shown. With the first workflow, only one universe. But with the second workflow, with live recording, we can go up to 64 ArtNet universe plus one DMX 512 universe. So one DMX universe plus 64 ArtNet universe. In this case, we will preview in real time your queue by using the ArtNet monitoring function. Then we will go to a recording. When it's done, when we have perfectly synced the media played by the player together with the show coming from your console, When it's done, step 1, then we move to step 2. We use the recording. And then we use step 3, where we have recorded a SC3 file inside the player. And we have a way to correct the offset after recording. Because what we see is during recording, there's no jitter, but there can be an offset related to the recording equipment, also the process, the data feed inside the player. So there is a way after recording to offset the show to make it perfectly sync with the media. Okay. So here I will show through the interface. Okay. So when we record a show, we have more function with the remote control. So I'm using the remote control, show control. We see some playback parameters, recording parameters, edition parameters, monitoring parameters, and global settings. When I go to global settings, first I can make a device mapping. Considering that the device address is channel 1, then I access 14 channels that are dedicated to the control of the player. Okay, so with the clever position of clever value of each channel, you can control your player at any time. Especially you can play some folders, but you can also control your outputs, and you can also send your RS-232 frames. Okay, now we are ready to go for. In global settings, you have some ArtNet settings and some timings on the DMX output. Usually people don't use it. Monitoring. Okay, enable monitoring. Now I can select that my DMX output comes from DMX input, for example, but could come from also ArtNet. And my device control, the 14 channel, comes from DMX input as well here. Okay, when I'm in monitoring, I can receive packet and push packet at any time. So I can receive packet and push packet, but I can also receive packet to control the player itself. So during this phase, I can easily adjust my light show with my media. When it's done, I move to recording. And here there is a simple workflow. We also have a YouTube tutorial where you have a step-by-step recording details tutorial. So we target the storage, device, the folder, the file name, some start condition. I let you discover on the left that you can start the recording during when we receive the first packet or after a countdown, or by adjusting the recording control channel. The stop condition. You can describe and from which source we go the DMX output, and again the control universe. When you are ready, you can launch the recording. So the show will be recorded inside the folder, and at the end we'll be able to edit it. If I go, I will try to go to folder 4. Okay, maybe I'm on folder 4, but there is a web page. Doesn't matter. Okay. In my folder 4, I have a show, so I can adjust the delay between 0 and 2 seconds to perfectly adjust my show with my media. That's how integrators have done such great, awesome use case. The one I showed you before during the webinar. Finally, I want to give you access to our product page, technical datasheet, and user guide on our website. All resources are available on resource support menu. And behind the scene, you will always have our team, our guys that are always available to provide support and advice during the study of your project until the installation and support. Thank you very much. I'm open for questions.
Thank you.
Thank you. I was thinking, is this the software that you were using now, or via the web page? Is it available, like just to look out?
So the software we use for the show?
Yeah.
Yes. So you have it on our website as well?
Yeah.
Let's go. Resource support. Software.
Yeah.
And show control editor. Okay, here it is, 2510.
Okay. Okay. So I'll check into that.
Nice.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yep. Bye.
Have a good day. Okay, thank you. Any questions from you guys? Yes?
And have a good evening.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
And if you are able to share the presentation, then yeah, that you show us.
Yes, definitely. Yes, we'll have.
Will be very useful for training
Okay.
the partners. Yeah.
Okay, nice. With Cedric, we will push the presentation. Yes.
Great. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.